Greetings, I am Mr. O'Neill and I teach English Language Arts online for Stride K-12, how to write an argument essay. This topic and skill is extremely important because it allows the writer to persuade the reader to believe in something or to do something about any topic, especially those topics that we feel extremely passionate about. For example, recycling, hunting, video games, sports, mental health, mythology, such as Greek mythology, or Roman mythology, or Norse mythology, religion, natural disasters, or any other topic that one feels very passionately about. And then once you've decided on a topic, narrow that topic down. So for example, if you're choosing sports, narrow that topic down to a specific sports team, such as the Seattle Seahawks, or narrow that topic down even further, such as a player on the Seahawks team, and then you would then argue why that player is the most valuable player for that sports team. Or if you're choosing recycling, for example, narrow that down to just recycling paper, or recycling aluminum, or recycling glass, or whatever specific area of recycling you're interested in, and then explain why that area of recycling needs more attention. Why do we need to raise awareness and raise resources for that area of recycling? Just some examples. Now you may be wondering, persuasive writing versus argumentative writing, what's the difference? Persuasive writing occurs when the goal is to convince the reader to adopt a certain point of view or take action, and it's usually very opinion-based and very personal, and usually there are not any facts presented in persuasive writing. Versus argumentative writing, the goal is to get the reader to acknowledge that a specific claim is valid, holds water, is reasonable based on evidence and facts. And it's more of a cool-headed approach to a topic where the writer is presenting facts and evidence to support a specific claim or a specific argument. Usually, students will start with the pathos, the emotional appeal. What is a topic that I'm very passionate about? It's great to have those strong emotions about a topic, but we need to channel those strong emotions into logic. Find 2 or more reliable articles with facts or data, statistics, expert testimony, and present that information in an argument essay to persuade the reader to believe in something or to do something. Again, these argument essays need to be backed up with facts or statistics or expert testimony from reliable sources. So here are some examples. Maybe you think it's unfair that we have so much homework. Well, to transition that into an argumentative phrase instead of just a persuasive phrase, you might say, too much homework leads to stress and sleep for students. And you would cite a source for that. Because it's not just an opinion, it's a fact that too much homework leads to stress and less sleep for students. Maybe you feel or have an emotion that TikTok is bad for kids' brains. Well, you need to back up that claim with a fact or evidence. Studies suggest that social media apps can hurt a student's focus, and then cite your reliable source. Another example, it's mean to make us wear uniforms at school. Well, that's an emotion, but then rephrase that into a fact and back up that fact with evidence. So research proves that uniforms don't actually stop bullying, and then cite your reliable source to show that research shows that uniforms don't actually stop bullying. Here is an argument essay graphic organizer to help you write an argument essay, and the link in the description of this video takes you to a copy of this argument essay that you can download and use on your own. Sentence stems are sentence starters. When you see the blue highlights, those are sentence starters to help you with starting your sentences. When you have finished writing all of your wonderful sentences in those green boxes, simply copy and paste your wonderful sentences from your green boxes into a new blank Word document. And I'll show you how this whole process looks. So, step 1, hook or attention grabber sentence. Say something very interesting about the topic you have chosen for your essay. This is your introduction paragraph, and this is the very first sentence of your introduction paragraph. Interestingly, blank is blank, or one needs to consider how blank impacts our world. Sentence number 2 is a context sentence. Give the reader some ideas and some background information about why your topic is important or how your topic influences the reader's life in some way. For example, selected topic is important because or selected topic influences lives because. The third sentence of your introduction paragraph is your thesis statement. State the main argument of your essay. The main argument of this essay is blank, or the main purpose of this essay is blank. Fourth sentence is your context sentence. Explain why your argument would make the world a better place, or explain why people should take your argument seriously. Sentence starter. This would make the world a better place because, or the general public should take this seriously because. Provide some more background information. Why should we care about this topic? Body paragraph number 1, which is your second paragraph overall. Paragraph topic sentence. State one idea that supports your main argument. And your paragraph topic sentence also tells the reader what the whole body paragraph is about. So that your topic sentence for your body paragraphs has to do two things. Each body paragraph topic sentence needs to tell the reader what the whole body paragraph is about, and your topic sentence needs to support your main argument. So sentence starter. One idea that supports the main argument of this essay is, and then tell the reader what's one idea that supports the main argument of the essay, and then explain that idea fully throughout the rest of the body paragraph. Now, this sentence starter is a little bland, but it's better than nothing, and it helps you get started if you're really struggling with starting your body paragraphs. Moving on to the second sentence of your body paragraph. Find two articles that support your thesis statement. Quote one supporting detail from the first article that supports your paragraph topic sentence. Sentence starter. On page blank, one small quote that supports the paragraph topic sentence is quote, and then provide the author's last name at the end. So, in the second sentence for your body paragraph, you're going to find a quote from the article that supports your idea, and then what you'll do is put the author's last name in parentheses at the end of that quote to give credit to that author. Make sure you place a period at the end. And then, after you've given a quote and given the author credit for that quote, in your very next sentence, you can paraphrase. So, sentence starter. The second paragraph of the article supports the paragraph topic sentence because, and then paraphrase. Paraphrasing occurs when you are rewriting the author's words in your own words. Instead of providing a direct quote and copying what they said word for word, you're rephrasing what they just wrote in your own words and then give them credit for that because you're getting those ideas from them. Those ideas you are not coming up with on your own. Those ideas you're getting from the author. So you need to give credit to the author by putting their last name in parentheses at the very end of your sentence when you're done paraphrasing or rephrasing those words from the article. So this is a good sequence to start your body paragraphs. You started with your topic sentence, explaining what the whole body paragraph is going to be about, and you're also supporting the main idea, the main argument of your essay. Then you're moving on to a quote, and then you're paraphrasing. So those are the first three sentences of your body paragraph. And then you're moving on to your own analysis at the very end of your body paragraph. So, sentence starter. Beyond the information presented in this source, further analysis could lead one to the conclusion that, or make an inference. What might the author believe that they did not explicitly or plainly state in the article? Moving on to the next body paragraph. Simply recreate that same sequence but with different ideas. So another idea that supports the main argument of this essay is blank. Write it. What's another idea that supports the main argument of your essay? And it also describes what the whole body paragraph is going to be about. And then explore that. Provide a direct quote from that second article that you found, and then write the author's last name to give credit to that quote, and then paraphrase, just like we talked about in the first body paragraph. And then write the author's last name when you're done paraphrasing what they wrote about. And then finish that body paragraph by writing your own ideas and your own analysis, just like we had discussed earlier. And keep in mind that when you're writing these body paragraphs, after you write your topic sentence, it's good to go back and forth between paraphrasing, quoting, writing your own analysis and your own ideas, paraphrasing, quoting, analyzing with your own ideas, your own analysis. Go back and forth between all three of those. You don't want to spend your entire body paragraph just quoting. You don't want to spend your entire body paragraph just paraphrasing. You don't want to spend the entire body paragraph just writing your own analysis either. Good writers go back and forth between quoting from reliable sources, paraphrasing from reliable sources, writing their own analysis, writing their own ideas, then going back to paraphrasing again, going back to quoting again, going back to writing their own analysis again. Good writers go back and forth between all three of those. And then repeat that same process as many times as you need for all of your body paragraphs, however many body paragraphs you need to write. Conclusion paragraph. Restate your thesis statement, which is your main argument. Restate both of your paragraph topic sentences, or you could combine ideas if your paragraph topic sentences are related, and restate all of the main ideas, the main topics for those body paragraphs. Lastly, for your conclusion paragraph, you could end your argument essay with a call to action. Ask your reader to do something. What can the reader do to help you with the topic of your main argument? Could they donate to charity? Could they volunteer to help a local charity? Could they organize a fundraiser? Could they raise awareness for your topic by writing a news article? Could they take action by doing what? What action could your reader take to help you with your main argument? If you do not want to end your conclusion paragraph with a call to action by asking your reader to do something, then you could ask your reader a question or two. For example, can the reader imagine what might happen if too many people do not take your topic seriously? Or what type of world would we live in if your topic was not taken seriously? Or there could be a different question that you want to ask your reader, but the goal is to get your reader to think about your topic and to think about your main argument well after they have finished reading your essay. And let's take a look at an example. Argument, essay, graphic organizer, example. In this example, I wrote about Fred Rogers, an icon we should never forget. Hook or attention grabber sentence for our introduction paragraph. We really need to grab the reader's attention here. Did you know there's a connection between the original 1939 Wizard of Oz, Star Trek, and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Wow, that really grabs my attention. I would like to read the rest of this essay now. Let's provide some more background information. What exactly are we talking about here? Well, LeVar Burton, who played Geordi LaForge in Star Trek The Next Generation, guest starred on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Fred Rogers Productions. Margaret Hamilton, who played the witch in the original 1939 Wizard of Oz, also guest starred on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Fred Rogers Productions. Now that we have given the reader some background information, we can state the main argument of the essay. The main argument of this essay is Fred Rogers is the most important program host in the history of television because of the way he positively influenced others. Let's provide a little bit more context to finish off our introduction paragraph. This argument needs to be taken seriously because Fred Rogers positively influenced lives across multiple decades and across multiple generations. And let's take a look at the full example essay, because as you can see, I completed all of my green boxes and I completed all of my sentences just the way I was supposed to. And I then copied and pasted all my sentences from my graphic organizer into a final draft, which looks just like this. So in my final draft, I highlighted my in-text citations in yellow, I wrote my own analysis in blue, and the paragraph topic sentences are in green. So here is the introduction paragraph that we just read in the graphic organizer, and I have my in-text citations in yellow, and I have my thesis statement, my main argument, in gray. Quick side note. Normally, you would not have to write an in-text citation in your introduction paragraph, but I needed to in this case because I was writing information that I originally got from a source, so I needed to give credit to that source. In this case, it was Fred Rogers Productions. You can see here I have my paragraph topic sentence in green. Fred Rogers, also known as Mr. Rogers, positively influenced others through the way he cared about their overall emotional and mental well-being. Okay, so we know that this whole body paragraph is going to be about Fred Rogers caring about others' emotional and mental well-being, and that supports the main argument, which is that he's the most important program host in the history of television because of the way he influenced others. So we're paraphrasing. We don't have to jump into a quote. You can do this in any order. So we're paraphrasing in this next sentence, and then we have a quote. And after we state our quote, we also give credit to Fred Rogers Productions on both cases. So Fred Rogers Productions gets a credit after the paraphrasing, and Fred Rogers Productions gets another citation credit after the quote. And then I write my own analysis at the very end of my body paragraph. This quote demonstrates that Fred Rogers deeply and authentically cared about others' emotional well-being and mental well-being. That's my own analysis. I don't have to cite anything at the end of that sentence because it's my own idea. It's my own analysis. Next body paragraph. You can see here my green topic sentence. Mr. Rogers also cared about the emotional growth and psychological growth of everyone. So this also supports the thesis statement. Remember, my thesis statement, my main argument was that Fred Rogers was the most important program host in the history of television because of the way he positively influenced others. So supporting that, I'm talking about the emotional growth and psychological growth that he cared about. And this is different than the first body paragraph because in the first body paragraph, we simply described how he cared about others' emotional and mental well-being, switching over to growth, emotional growth, psychological growth. So first body paragraph was all about well-being. Second body paragraph is all about growth. So Robin Brickell, a trained psychologist, argues that Mr. Rogers is right about positive relationships, allowing children and adults the opportunity to grow and develop. And then I provide Brickell's last name in parentheses here to give her credit. Brickell uses the term secure attachment, which means Brickell argues that Mr. Rogers encouraged safe and positive relationship building in order to promote psychological growth and emotional growth. And we have secure attachment as a quote, and then we're also mixing in some more paraphrasing there. And then we give a citation credit, Brickell in parentheses again, right here, because we paraphrased and we also quoted from their article. Then we finish off this body paragraph with my own analysis. Even though Fred Rogers never used the term secure attachment, one could make an inference that Fred Rogers would agree with Brickell's analysis of the term secure attachment as it relates to building safe and positive relationships with others. So, like we talked about, finish off these body paragraphs with your own ideas and your own analysis, and you can see that I don't cite Brickell at the end of my blue sentence because that's my own idea. Mr. Rogers never actually used the term secure attachment, as far as I can remember and as far as I could research, but we could make an inference, we could make an educated guess that Fred Rogers would agree with Brickell that secure attachment is extremely important. Lastly, we're finishing off our argument essay with a nice conclusion paragraph. So restate the main argument, restate paragraph topic sentences, finish off your conclusion paragraph with an idea to really get the reader thinking. If everyone took at least one day a week for the rest of their lives to analyze and appreciate Mr. Rogers' philosophies on positive relationship building, do you think our world would be a better place? That's a good question. And you don't have to answer that question. Just let that question sit with the reader. Lastly, finish off your argument essay with your works cited page so that the reader can go directly to those reliable sources that you mentioned in your argument essay. So we have Brickell, the Brickell article that I have correctly cited, and we also have the Fred Rogers Productions website that I have correctly cited, and make sure that it follows this formatting. If you struggle with the formatting, you can always go to Scribbr.com. That's SCRIBBR.com. Scribbr.com can help you with correctly formatting your works cited page if you're struggling with formatting your works cited page. And hopefully this helps with writing an argument essay, and good luck. You got this. You will be successful, and I believe in you.